Start out with a classic. Otso Tzav is so far. Dabro davar v'lo yakom. Otso Tzav is so far. Dabro davar v'lo yakom. Imanoke. Hey, Otso Tzav is so far. Dabro davar v'lo yakom. Imanoke. Hey, Otso Tzav is so far. Dabro davar v'lo yakom. So it's so very so far,
Do it, Morty. I like that scratch. Hey, Basil, can you hear the drum? Yeah. Okay. Yay! Hey, kid. What time is it? Gezintahait Street. Time for Gezintahait Street. That's correct. Now, the story for tonight is going to be connected with the Hasidus for tonight. Mendel, can you hear me?
Yep,
Everybody can hear me? Okay. The Rebbe once related and explained to us about the fact that from the first day of the month of Nisan, which today we're in the 8th day of Nisan, we read about the sacrifice that the princes of the tribes of Israel, each day, one of the princes brought a different sacrifice. Now, the Rebbe's birthday happens to be on the 11th day of Nisan. Today was the 8th day of Nisan. Tonight is the 9th day. The 10th is going to be Shabbos, and Sunday is going to be the 11th day, which is the Rebbe's birthday. And each day, one of the princes brought a different offering. Yet, all of the offerings were identical. So why does the Torah have to repeat the offerings every day? Let the Torah just say that 12 princes came on 12 days, and this is what they brought. No, every day it enumerates the offerings, and they're the same as the day before. Why? Because the intention of each one of the princes was unique to that tribe. So even though to outer appearances, the 12 offerings were identical, the inner dimension, the intention differed. Our Rebbe, on his birthday, on the 11th day of Nisan, revealed the unique intention of the offering of the prince of the tribe of Asher. The Hebrew word Asher means happy. And that reflects our happiness that we choose Hashem, and Hashem chooses us to be his people. That's the inner intention of the tribe of Asher. And on the Rebbe's birthday, he related on the 11th of Nisan, when it was the offering of the tribe of Asher, the Rebbe tells us a story from the Midrash, which illustrates this point, that the Jews choose Hashem, and Hashem chooses the Jews. The Midrash says, it tells a story, a king came to a city. he had three groups of dignitaries. He had chiefs, generals, and ministers. And each citizen of the city chose one of those dignitaries to serve, to be in his gang, in order to receive power, glory, and treasure. But there was one smart guy, an open-minded individual, who chose the king. He didn't choose one of the ministers. He chose the king himself. He said, the king is permanent. The ministers are temporary. The Rebbe asks, why does it take someone who's smart to choose the king? Even a little child knows that the king is greater than his chiefs and his generals. What's more, what does the smart guy mean when he says that the ministers are temporary while the king is permanent? So there's two questions. One, why are the ministers temporary and the king is permanent? What's his answer and what's his thought? And two, of course the guy chooses the king. You don't have to be smart to know that the king is greater than the minister. A Rebbe explains, it takes great effort and concentrated service of self-nullification and all of one's abilities to internalize the connection to the king. To choose such a hard and rigorous service takes a very smart guy. The Rebbe explains further, to understand the reason he chose the king is because the king is permanent, while the ministers are temporary. We must understand the object of the metaphor. The metaphor, the king comes to a town with his ministers, and each of the people choose one of the ministers, and the smart guy chooses the king. We have to understand what is the object of that metaphor. The object of the metaphor is they choose the ministers, meaning the nations of the world receive their flow of wealth and good fortune from angels, from heavenly ministers. They understand that the king, Hashem, is greater than those ministers. Nevertheless, they choose the minister. After all, their gods, the ones they choose, call Hashem the God of gods. But those who serve the ministers want the treasures. What do you mean the treasures? The pleasures of this physical world they can get now. The smart guy knows that by serving the king, his final gain will be much greater. But now there's a deeper question. Free choice means picking between equals. In this case, both are serving for their own reasons. There appears to be no difference between the choice of the smart guy and the rest of the people. The rest of the people are choosing because they're going to get good from it. And the smart guy is choosing because he's going to get good from it. Even though he's going to get greater good, he's also choosing for self-serving reasons. Both are being compelled by self-concern. How then can the clever person be expressing free choice by choosing the king? There's no free choice here. He's choosing the king because he's going to get something out of it. Their answer is, the smart guy chooses the king not because of the reward he's going to get. Even though he knows he's going to get a greater reward than the other guy, his service and delight comes from linking to the inner will of the king, Not what he's going to get out of it, what the king is going to get out of it. It makes no difference to the smart guy whether he receives a little bit when his relationship with the king is still undeveloped, or he sees a whole lot once his bond to the king is deep and complete. His thing is he's doing it not for himself, it's for the king. To further clarify how the Jew chooses Hashem, just for Hashem himself and not for ulterior motives, the Rebbe tells a story from the Siddur, which includes words of the living God, which is also about a king. Should we have a niggin with a poem now?
Yeah, I think we'll, what's it called?
Hey! Marvin! Hi, Marvin. Nice to see you again.
Bezalel. My job is to make sure that people don't try to get the king himself, you know.
Right? You want them to think you're the king.
That's right. That's why I dress this way.
But everybody knows, Marvin, that your crown is not earned. You're not really a king.
Yeah, I know.
Only make him believe you're the king.
Any schnook can put on a cape and do this.
No, not any schnook, Marvin. After all, you have to know your own mileage. You have to know your own superiority. There's nobody else can do as good of a job as you could.
Oh, no, I do a good job at this. All right.
What's happening, Marvin?
Well, let's have a niggin of some sort, or a song or a poem.
A joke song? Let's have a joke song. You ready?
That sounds good.
Okay. Hagen in China. Great mirror in Pipik too. That's why I'm out of singing. My freight mirror in Pipik blue. Can I know reloading? Baby's not a new pair of shoes. That's why I'm out of singing. My freight mirror in Pipik blue. Now you and me, baby, we both got nothing to lose. Why don't you come and join me, singing my freight mirror in Pipik blues? Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, you could sing 'em in Yiddish too. Why don't you come and join me, singing my freight mirror in Pipik blues? Now come on, children, we're gonna have some fun. You ain't seen nothing like the Holy One. Tell me how long do I have to wait? Can I get my Mashiach now? Or must I hesitate? Morty, take it away a little. Morty.
Give us some.
Take it away, Morty.
I have a great time. Okay.
Take it away a little.
So I'm feeling good. Okay.
You ready? If you're not ready, don't worry about it.
No, I'm just.
Harry. The boy's finding his boat.
I'm not techno savvy, boys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's nuts.
What the heck is going on out there?
Everybody look what's going on.
I think it's time for another L'chaim.
Okay, L'chaim LeBron. All right.
There we go.
Okay, so to clarify how it is that a Jew chooses Hashem, to expand on that concept, the Rebbe brings a story from the Mittler Rebbe's explanation in the Siddur. It's actually an explanation of the Haggadah. And by the way, we're in the month of Nisan, and Pesach is coming up. And when the Mittler Rebbe, according to the Alter Rebbe's explanations, explains the Haggadah, he brings this story. And the story is, the king made a banquet. He invited his favorite servants, he invited his ministers, he invited his important courtiers. During the meal, the dogs got a whole bunch of bones under the table. And the waiters and waitresses and the cooks in the kitchen got a whole delicious meal from the leftovers. But it's obvious it's not the king's intention to lay out so much money to feed the dogs in the kitchen staff. Instead, the king's intention was to feed the invited guests and the important members of his court. On a spiritual level, the dogs represent the creatures of this physical world. They're unaware of the king, of Hashem, and his greatness. They only want more and more for themselves. The waiting staff represents those who obey the king out of fear of punishment. The invited guests, the favorite servants, the ministers, important members of the court, serve through whatever level of realization of the king's greatness that they have achieved. To focus the microscope, the servants are the lower angels, the ministers are the higher angels, and the important members of the court are the divine spheros of the world of Atzilus. And these levels parallel the three kinds of ministers who entered the city with the king. A Jew, the Rebbe says, forgoes all of these levels, even the highest revelations of godliness. Why? Because he's a smart guy. He desires the king himself. He only wants Hashem. He doesn't want big revelations. And that's what the Alter Rebbe said. I don't want your paradise. I don't want your reward in the future. I only want you. Why does he only want Hashem? Because the essence of his soul is one with Hashem. Why does he have to be smart to choose this path? If the essence of his soul is one with Hashem, so of course he chooses the king. So why does he have to be smart to choose the king? Because the smart guy, his connection to Hashem, his inner desire, he has to also use his eternal powers of intellect and emotions to fasten that bond with Hashem. And this requires involving his Chabad, his intellect, and his emotions. And why is that necessary? That he needs to pull into play his intellect and his emotions, connect with Hashem. After all, he's a part of Hashem. Because that's how Hashem chooses a Jew, chooses his soul and his body. Therefore, a person has to internalize this bond and this choice of the king through bringing it in to his intellect and his emotion. So what do we have next? A poem?
Yeah, we got the poem from the great and famous Jewish poet Ayin Heiss.
And that's going to be a poem that's about the Parsha of this week, which is Parshas Tzav. Hashem tells Moshe, command the children of Israel.
when you contact the forbidden, it can be purged, it can be clean. If absorbed into your walls, what remedy is seen? If your soul shall suffer, if you should be brought low, you can emerge pure and white. If you build a fire below, you become as crimson. I will make you snow. Though you become as red dye, I will make you whole. You become as crimson, I will make you white as wool. Though you become as red dye, I make it possible. Do not succumb to the cold dark night. Let a constant fire burn. Though you stray from the path upright, you can still return. If you become as crimson, I will make you like snow. Though you become as red dye, I will make you whole. You become as crimson, I will make you white as wool. Though you become as red dye, I make it possible.
All right. Thank you, Mendel.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Where's Morty? Morty, you're in?
Yeah, one sec. He's right there.
No. And why is it that we have to, like I said, internalize this into our intellect and emotions, this choice that we're choosing Hashem, even though we are really a piece and parcel of Hashem? Because Hashem chooses us, not only our soul, but also our body. Chassidus is the feast of Levi Yosef. When Mashiach comes, Hashem is going to make a big kind of a divine Super Bowl. And there's going to be a big joust between a huge fish called the Leviathan. It's so big it wraps around all of the continent. And a huge ox, which is so big that every day it eats 3,000 mountains. Some say it eats the growing stuff on 3,000 mountains, and other ones say it actually eats 3,000. And it's called the behemoth. So the behemoth and the Leviathan are going to have a joust. And we're going to have seats in that stadium. And it's going to be like an amazing Super Bowl. And Levi Elson is going to shaft that ox, is going to kill the ox with his fin. And that ox is going to gore Levi Elson with his horn. And they're going to go up, each one level after level, they're going to raise each other up. And this feast of Levi Elson, after the thing is over, we're going to have a big party. We're going to have a big feast. And don't be satisfied with the description I just gave. It's only a menu. Read the actual mimer from the Rebbe. And you can find it in English on a website called Simply Hasidut. Chew it up. It's a meal. Chew up this wisdom. That's the level of Chachma. That's the level of wisdom. Taste the wisdom. That's the level of Bina, the level of understanding. Swallow it. That's the level of Das, the level of bonding. Be nourished by it. That's the middle. That's the emotion. And be enlivened by it, thought, speech, and action, as Gezintahait, enjoy the peace. Let's have Morty. Morty, give us a little trill there on your fiddle. Where's Morty? Morty, are you there? You're relaxing by the fire? Okay. I want to return to the thing we've talked about for a few weeks already. That the Baal Shem Tov says, when a Jew says words of davening, words of prayer, and words of learning Torah, that Hashem hangs on those words. That he actually kisses the letters that the Jew is saying. That he gets true delight from what we do. So I was thinking, what could be a good metaphor for this? So that people could really get an idea of what we're talking about. So I was thinking that when a 3-year-old kid at the Seder says the 4 questions, the grandmother and the grandfather hang on every word that kid is saying. Even though the kid's saying nothing new, we've been saying these 4 questions for thousands of years. And even though the kid doesn't get it exactly right, that Bubby and Zeta are hanging on every word the kid is saying in pure delight. So too, when we say words of Torah and words of prayer, Hashem hangs on our words. That is his whole delight, is our saying of Torah and prayer. Morty, are you there? I want to get you in with a violin a little bit. It's well known.
His audio is low.
Where's Morty?
He's there, but his audio is real low.
Oh, he's bad bandwidth. Morty, pick up your garter. It's well known that the coming of Mashiach is a revelation of perfection in our physical world. We're going to be here, and Hashem's going to live with us, and everything's going to be perfect forever. And that revelation of godliness is dependent on our work of Torah and mitzvahs in this world. The question is, why should we have to work so much for that? The answer is because human nature is not satisfied by getting a gift. It's a bread of shame. Somebody gives you something, you don't feel good about it. You only feel good about what you get through what you earn. So therefore, since we have human nature needs to earn in order to be really satisfied, So Hashem gives us what we can work on to earn this gift of eternal perfection. Question is, Hashem can do whatever he wants. Let him create us that our nature is liking to receive a gift. Not to earn. Our nature should be that we like to receive. Therefore, Hashem could give us this gift of living in eternal perfection without all this bother and pain of having to earn it. Everybody see the question? In other words, why shouldn't Hashem create it in the way that it's easy for us? That he gives it to us as a gift? And the answer is, the Rebbe says, in that construct, we would only be receivers. And Hashem would only be a giver. But the way he makes it now, both of us are givers and receivers. Just like that Bubby and Zaidi with the 3-year-old. We are able to give Hashem nachas. And through that, we will receive our reward of having it revealed to us the nachas that he got from us. We give Hashem delight by unifying with him through our work in Torah and mitzvahs, and in return, Hashem gives us our eternal, satisfied perfection. Mordechai, are you there? Mordechai. Mordechai. Take out that violin. He's not there anymore? Hello?
Hey, it's Mordecai.
Morty, where are you? You can't get on?
His audio is real low.
Mendel, can you open up Morty's audio? Mordechai, Mendel, open up Morty's audio.
It's not. He's not muted. He's
Huh?
open. He's open. He's not muted.
You're open and you should be able to just play. Give it a try. Play us a nigga, Morty. I can hear you. I can hear you on the phone. I don't hear you on the thing. No, I think you have a low bandwidth. You gotta raise up your glass. I don't know. Okay. If you figure it out, come. Huh? That's good. Okay, thank you.
I can see him all right.
I don't know where that Morty is. Hirsch, give us a drum solo. If you want to. Can't hear you. I see you're trying, but you ain't coming across.
Can you hear
Now
me?
try it. Now try it.
All right, here we go. I'm not muted.
Okay, do it. Still can't hear them drums. Okay, we'll keep talking then. We see you're working, Hirsch. Hello? Wait, hang on. Let me see if I see you on the top. Golda Epstein, but it looks dark, but I see there's a picture of Golda.
I got him. Mm-hmm.
Hoishi.
Hey, what's the status, Gladys?
Hey, Hoishi. How you doing, Hoishi?
Another exciting day. Pittsburgh City, DJ. Whoa, something just fell down the steps.
Where the hell are they? I don't know.
Oh, anyway, Hoishi.
Yeah, we just lost them.
Well,
We just lost them again. Who's G?
Tell him to try to unmute
it's
you.
Mordechai, G. Big G.
Hey, Mendy, you don't hear
You're
the
muted by the host.
you don't hear the drums?
I hear them now.
Yeah, we hear them now.
I didn't change anything.
I'm going to see if Mendel can unmute you, okay? You're doing good, Morty. We're doing our best. Okay.
Okay.
First is playing the drums, you hear him? You see the 3,000-year-old puppet over there? He's on there. He's on. You don't see anything on the screen? It's telling me that you got low bandwidth. You got to raise your Garth a little. It's the problem with that phone.
Well, guys, we got 3 minutes left. Let's talk about the Parsha a little bit.
Okay, why does Hashem have to say Tzav?
Oh, why? That's a good question. Why, Hoishi?
Well, you have the book in front of you.
I have a computer in front of me now. You want me to Google it?
You're supposed to have the answers. I'm supposed to ask the questions.
Oh, well, I know, but I looked at a different answer. I thought there was something real interesting in this Parsha.
It is. There is a reason that he says Tzav, by the way. It's a specific thing.
Well, the thing I was thinking about earlier was it says, how come, one of the things he commands them is they should keep a fire burning all the time.
Right.
Right? It should be a ner tamid, like a constant fire should be burning eish tamid mizbeach, right?
No, it can't be burning. It's got to be boining.
Boining on the mizbeach. Yeah, and I remember because Hashem commanded him, it should be boining.
Boining.
Yep.
They wanted to burn something, but Hashem said, no, it's got to be boining.
And this connects to something else, Hoishi. It connects to the fact that Amalek is always trying to make us cool down in Yiddishkeit.
That's correct.
So how do we fight this? This is what Hashem tells us this week, is Eish Tamid Tukad al Mizbeach. Is always make sure that you have the fire of your neshama, the fire of your Yiddishkeit burning.
Boining.
And if you always have a fire of your Yiddishkeit burning, then you will heat up the Amalek. You will make it, it will be hot stuff, baby.
Right, when you're hot, you're hot. And when you're not, you're not.
Exactly. Especially for a kid, you're real smart. Okay, put on unmute yourself. Anyways, boys, we have about a minute left. Maybe we should do the sign off, Niggin.
Yeah, that's a
We're
good
ready for the sign off, Ray?
Yeah, we got a minute left. We have a minute left. Ready?
Hang on.
Any last messages for the people?
Yeah.
Chag Kasher v'Sameach.
Yeah, get some matzah. If you don't know where to get matzah, go to Chabad.org.
Correct.
Okay, everybody, have an eye out for us. Tell your friends we're going to send the show up to YouTube.
Okay.
Here we go.
Ready?
Gezintahait.
Gezintahait. Gezintahait, my friend.
Hey, Gezintahait.
Ever kids. Gezintahait.
Yeah, it's a wrap, boys.
That's a wrap.
Hoishi, it was good to see you, everybody. Bitzalel.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
Nice to get together.
All right. Happy Pesach.
Yeah,
And they're going to, one of these days, they're going to say, how did they get together? They were in quarantine.
Aha.
Yeah.
I live my whole life in quarantine in a suitcase.
I think I'm going to